All right, new tonight here on The Current, we are turning to Iowa's prairies. For the past 25 years, a small team at the Iowa DNR has been collecting and cleaning seeds. The seeds and eventual plants are then used to reconstruct Iowa's prairies. Of course, prairies once covered most of Iowa, and they're vital for soil, water, and animals. But today, less than 0.1% of these original habitats are left throughout the state. But all of this seed cleaning work takes a lot of manpower. So to bring this project to life, the Iowa DNR has partnered with the Iowa Department of Corrections. And it's a story that Rachel Kramer with Iowa Public Radio and Harvest Public Media has been following, and she joins us right now here on The Current. Rachel, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Before we get into this partnership with some of Iowa's prisons, let's start with the seeds themselves. What does it mean when we say people clean the seeds for prairie reconstruction?
Sure. So I actually went to the North Central Correctional Facility in Rockwell City earlier this winter and got to see this in person. It's using a lot of equipment with shaking screens and blowing air to basically remove that hard exterior on the seeds. And they have different steps and recipe cards for different species. But that's a really important step to be able to create these site-specific mixes for recreation areas, wildlife areas, state parks, and other public land around Iowa. So this is a very important step, and it takes months in order to do that work.
All right, so if it takes so much work to do this, what is the payoff? What's the impact of this program been on Iowa's prairies?
Yeah, as you mentioned in the intro, this team at the DNR only has a few full-time staff, so they really rely on partners, including the Department of Corrections. The facilities have changed over the years, but there are several facilities that help. One facility helps with the cleaning. Several facilities help grow prairie violets in greenhouses. They also they grow the seeds in production plots. So it kind of looks like typical horticulture production where you've got the weed tarp and it's an intense production so that they can produce enough seed in order to meet demand for 1,800 acres a year, which is a lot. The partners also include several universities and colleges, high schools, conservation boards, and nonprofits as well.
All right, well, let's look specifically at the partnership with the Department of Corrections. What do some of these incarcerated people do with these seeds?
Well, along with the cleaning, they're growing them outside, they're tending them and caring for them. And then they might do some hand harvesting, or in a lot of these facilities, the DNR staff have combine harvesters with rice strippers that can basically remove the seeds and leave the plants behind. When I went out to this facility and talked to them, a lot of the people who are at these facilities appreciate having something to do during the day. It's a voluntary program. People are screened by the Department of Corrections. And for them, they talked about the value of seeing a small plant a small seedling that they put in the ground become some large full-grown plant, and seeing that life cycle happen. For other people, they said that they really enjoyed working with the DNR and feeling like that they were being treated as a worker instead of an incarcerated person.
Rachel, do you think this program could happen without the help that the DNR gets from these incarcerated people?
When I spoke with Bill Johnson, he's now retired, but he's been with the program since the beginning, and he's overseen this team. He said that wouldn't be possible, just because they're trying to produce so much seed. And this does save money for the state of Iowa, and they're also able to ensure that they have enough diverse seed mixes. About 80 species in these seed mixes go out to public land around the state, and he was pretty adamant that they wouldn't be able to do this work on their own with just a few people.
Such an interesting program. Rachel, thank you so much for your reporting and also joining us here today. I didn't even know about any of this before your reporting.
Well, thanks so much for bringing me on the show. I appreciate it.
For you guys at home, Rachel's full article dives into how this process works, and she chatted with multiple incarcerated men who are working with the program right now. You can catch Rachel's full article on our website, WQAD.com, underneath the As Seen on TV tab.